Eubank Jr. versus Dmitry Chudinov. Chudinov's impressed me in the build-up to this fight. He looks like he's come to fight. He doesn't look like he's scared or intimidated by Eubank Jr. whatsoever. Eubank Jr., I saw him doing some training the other day on the pads. The guy is in tremendous physical condition as always. What I thought was odd, and this got a few comments in the IFL TV video, and it's Eubank Jr. doing some mitt work in the ring with a pad man, and amazing, how technically poor he looked even doing a media workout. His coach was telling him off for not pivoting when he throws his straight punch, throwing a punch with fundamentally poor technique. And I was so surprised that the coach was giving him a bollocking like that on a media workout. It's crazy. Surely that kind of work is done before the gym, but before you get to this stage of a fight. Anyway, by people think I hate on Eubank Jr. and I don't want to go on another pre-fight rant, but I didn't think he looked good in that. I think he looked stiff, he looked overly tense, he wasn't pivoting, he wasn't elastic, very, very rigid, and I didn't like that. So Eubank Jr., like he did in Billy Joe Saunders' fight, has given me some causes for concern. Dmitry Chudinov, looks very calm, very connected, and very, very ready to fight. Eubank Jr. again, perhaps there's some risk he's overlooking Chudinov, I've heard him talking up a rematch with Saunders. I've heard him talking about a fight with Golovkin. There was an article on Boxing Scene with him saying he's looking at Golovkin and how he'd fight Golovkin. And for me, that's absolutely crazy talk. You just got outboxed by Billy Joe Saunders. You're a long way off fighting Golovkin. And the other thing, maybe now I am going on a bit of a rant here, but people talk about this Eubank Jr. being really tough, really durable, having a chin made of iron. Perhaps he could test Golovkin. I mean, that is absolute nonsense. Eubank Jr. doesn't have a chin made of iron. He's not been in a fight where you can test his chin. I'm a huge Billy Joe Saunders fan, but let's be honest, Billy Joe is not a power puncher. He's not knocking people out at the elite level. Billy Joe is a smart, slick, point-scoring, amateur-style boxer. Yeah. The fact that he went the distance with Billy Joe Saunders doesn't prove his chin is any better than John Ryder, any better than Nick Blackwell, any better than Spike O'Sullivan. These guys went the distance as well. As for his other opponents, who's he gone the distance with? Bradley Price, Tyan Booth, Alistair Warren, Frankie Borg, was it? I mean, who's he been in with? I mean, as far as I can make it, he's fought a load of guys who are a lot smaller than him, with less capability than him, and Billy Joe Saunders. This isn't a guy with a good chin. This isn't a guy with a proven chin at middleweight. This also isn't a guy with any power at middleweight, as far as we've seen. He's been knocking out welterweights, knocking out light middleweights, knocking out guys who aren't rated in the top 100 of their division. Let's see him in with some real competition before we assess his chin, before we assess his power. All of this talk about Golovkin is nonsensical. If you can't outbox Billy Joe, you're not going to be able to outbox Golovkin. And we'll see. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I view this fight as a very tight fight. I'm edging towards Eubank Jr. I would say it's a 60-40 pick in Eubank Jr.'s favour. But maybe after this fight, Chudinov is a solid middleweight. Genuine size middleweight as well. He's big at the weight. Chudinov, he's not an elite puncher like a Golovkin or a Mew, but he can hit a bit, and he's also durable. So if Eubank Jr. does stop him, I'll come on here and I'll admit Eubank Jr. carries power at 160. But I do not think Eubank Jr. stops Chudinov, because I don't buy into Eubank Jr. having power at middleweight whatsoever. Billy Joe says Spike O'Sullivan hit harder. For me, Eubank Jr. has not knocked out anyone at middleweight that makes me think he carries power at the weight. The other thing is his durability, and as I say, for me that's still hugely up in the air. So if he goes 12 rounds with Chudinov, who probably is a slightly bigger puncher than Billy Joe, then I'll also come on here and credit him for that, and say, yeah, he's got a bit of durability, he's got a solid chin. But at this point, for Eubank Jr., the doubts are more than what we've got proven. For me, his power is hugely in doubt. His chin is in doubt. His stamina is very much in doubt. His accuracy is hugely in doubt. His jab is non-existent. His back foot game is in doubt. his defence is terrible. That's not in doubt. It's terrible. His defence against Saunders was woeful. So for me, possibly more concerns. Now Chudinov, let me touch on him. He's a guy who's impressed me, but I think he came over and drew with Patrick Mendy. That's not good form. The other thing is, I almost wonder if he's too big at the weight. If you look at his face in the IFL interview that went up, the guy looks so gaunt at the weight. He doesn't look like Dmitry Chudinov I've seen before. And I understand a lot of his fights have been at catch weights, Even though he campaigns as a middleweight, he's been coming in at 12 stone. So I have big concerns about him maybe being too big at the weight, which is putting me off picking him. Also, the fact he hasn't been able to get the job done against guys like Patrick Mendy is not the best form. And I think finally, just in terms of his style, he is a bit one-paced, he is a bit plodding. He's like a better version, albeit at different weights, of Christian Hamer. He's not the most explosive, dynamic guy. He's powerful, he's rugged, he's very strong, he's going to come for a fight, he's very tough, very durable, he's got a good chin, he can whack a bit, and it's going to be a hard fight. Potentially, it could be a very, very entertaining fight, because these are two guys with sea-level defence. Neither of them seem to be overly fond of fighting behind a jab. Neither of them seem to have any back foot game whatsoever, and they both back themselves as elite power punchers, and they both think they've got an elite level chin. So potentially this is a fight that could take place in the centre of the ring, both guys throwing hooks, both guys throwing uppercuts, and it could be a stylistically very entertaining matchup. Let's hope so. Now the reason I'm going with Eubank, despite all my doubts over Eubank, and despite the fact that I have huge issues with his jab, his inaccuracy, his back foot game, his defence, the list goes on. And despite the fact I don't buy into any of the hype about his durability, his chin, his stamina, his power, what I will say about Chris Eubank is he is an extremely eye-catching fighter. He throws very flashy, eye-catching combinations. He's got fast hands. His punches look like they've got snap to them. A real eye-catching performer. Dmitry Chudinov is not. He doesn't have the same speed. He doesn't have the same snap behind his combinations. Chudinov is a lot of things. Really tough guy, really tough fighter. But he is not the most aesthetically pleasing fighter. And I think with Chris Eubank Jr. fighting at home, I think it's going to be very, very hard to see Chudinov outpointing him. Just because I think over the course of 12 rounds, Eubank Jr. will land a more memorable and more eye-catching work. I see this one going the distance, I really do. I don't think either of these guys are elite level punchers. I think Chudinov is very, very durable. Eubank Jr., that's still got to be proven to me, but to give him some credit, he did go 12 with Billy Joe. As I say, Billy Joe not the biggest puncher, but nonetheless. So I view this one going 12. I view it as got the potential to catch fire and to be an entertaining matchup. And I've got doubts over Chudinov. I just don't think he's the most eye-catching. I don't think he's the most dynamic. I've got concerns over him at the weight. And I think there is a chance of Chudinov pulling the upset. But I just don't really see him being dynamic enough to knock Chris Eubank Jr. out. And I don't see his work being eye-catching enough to necessarily get the points win. So I'm going something like Chris Eubank Jr. 116-112, unanimous decision. And I, as I say, will very much look forward to this fight. Because regardless of the fact that I don't think Chudinov's going to pull the upset, some interesting questions will be asked. I want to see if Eubank listens to his corner. I want to see if Eubank fights for a full 12 rounds. I want to see if Eubank can actually hit hard at middleweight against a genuine size 160 pounder. I want to see if Eubank can take a punch. I want to see if Eubank can use boxing, can fight behind a jab, can fight with accuracy. And finally, I want to see if Eubank has any signs of any defence whatsoever. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be entertaining, and I think we could learn a lot. But I'm going Chris Eubank Jr. points win. Let me know your thoughts. Keen to discuss this one.